Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. I'm Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, the domestic goddess with an itchy nose from the patio wagon. What am I from? The paddy wagon.
Now you're goofing up.
I know. Englishing's been really hard for me today. You don't want to see what I was typing. Oh, it was bad. It's like, I can't even type. I can't do anything today.
Yeah. Hey, we are on episode 29, and welcome to an evening at the paddy wagon. And
are we going to try to introduce our new
well,
list?
I don't know, because if you see the backdrop, we have an actual backdrop. That's not virtual. It's or green screen. It's an actual backdrop, and it's here in our camper. And if you see it moving back and forth like it's waving, it's because we have a new addition to the Squatch family.
You should have put her picture up there.
I should have, but I didn't.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Okay.
We adopted a new puppy. Well, I guess she's not really a puppy. She's 18 months old.
She's a puppy.
She's
a potty trained puppy.
She's a potty trained puppy, I guess. And her name's Daisy, and I don't know where she went. But anyway, she is a half German Shepherd, half a Rottweiler.
I think. Oh, look, there she is. Maybe she'll jump up. Come on. Look, there she is. There's Daisy May.
Oh, I can't get her to turn around.
Daisy May.
There she is. Okay.
I don't know. She doesn't seem to like cameras all that much, but now she's going to try and jump on his lap, which will knock the whole works right over.
So anyway, and she's been really good. I've taken her out a few times. She spends a lot of time with her nose to the ground, and I've got a book and have tried before to teach puppies to search for cadavers. So
maybe it'll work this time.
We're going to work on her to become a cadaver dog, and hopefully we can go find us a Bigfoot body in the woods. All right.
Yeah, that's the idea. Oh, well, now she's had a little bit of the spotlight, and she says, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing? Okay. There
anyway, I want to give a public shout out to anyone who might be interested. First of all, I want to say that my votes are in, and I much prefer International Delight Creamer over Coffee Mate, but just saying, got pumpkin pie spice in here tonight. But I do want to give a public shout out to the Western Arizona Humane Society. That's where we adopted Daisy from. They were absolutely wonderful from the very first phone call I made to checking out the dogs online, getting our appointment for a meet and greet, the paperwork. It was just so smooth. And let me tell you what, their facility is phenomenal. It is just amazing. They've got private meet and greet areas. It's very clean. You know, sometimes you go into a shelter and it just smells like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get the lighting right. Keep going.
It smells like icky dog, like, urine and grossness. It's just you wouldn't even know you were in a shelter. It's so clean. They've got dedicated volunteers, dedicated technical staff. They were wonderful. We're planning on making probably a small year-end donation to them. So if you are looking for somewhere where you can get a tax write-off, please consider the Western Arizona Humane Society in Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Yep.
They have no idea I said that. I don't even know if they're watching. But.
And I'm going to say hi to Dale and Renee and Garrett. Hi, Garrett, and congratulations, Garrett. You just graduated.
He's part of the crazy train with psych degrees.
He's got a psych degree just like she does. Yay! Okay, that's great. But Garrett, if we ever get in a conversation and you answer a question or say these words to me, the conversation's over. It goes, so how do you feel about that? How did that make you feel? Any of those questions, we're over. Okay? All right. Because that's happened to me. All right.
How'd that make you feel?
It made me feel uncomfortable. Okay.
Well, sometimes you have to sit with your discomfort and just welcome it and love it unconditionally and allow it to move through you.
All right. All right, we're good, Garrett. All right, thanks.
So we have an episode where I psychoanalyze him. I was called a woo-woo queen today.
Oh.
I was called a woo-woo queen in a work group. I got to tell you about my work group. So
Well, that in the Bigfoot world's not a good thing.
Well, no. So I was called a woo-woo queen today because in our work group, we work on developing relationships. That's how we work our business, is through relationship. I am a social media influencer, whatever the heck that means. Anyway, and our leader often talks about, just making that energetic connection with people. And she says, I don't know how it works, but I know it works. And I know it sounds really woo-woo, but I'm telling you, it works. And then she had us breathe. And I typed something in the chat, and she had me share it about she says, okay, Hannah's my woo-woo queen. And she's got the science here. And so I had to give a little mini lecture on the human toroidal field and all that stuff, and the physics of electromagnetism as far as it emanating from human bodies and blah, 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 and how those fields intersect with each other. And that was fun. And if it works with humans, I'll bet it works with Bigfoot, because every living creature has a toroidal field.
Oh, here we go. That's
Anyway.
science, people. All right. So let's get into this. So,
Renee, you got no idea. And the dog's going to take the background down. Just saying, be watching for it.
yeah,
If the flag falls, it's the dog's fault.
it's the dog's fault. All right. So,
now she wants to play with her toy.
yeah, well, that's not going to happen. So, anyway, tonight we were talking about here in episode 29, where did Bigfoot come from? Oh, but before that, we have a... Oh, wait, it's coming up. I got to get my act together here. All right, yes, we're going to talk about where did Bigfoot come from. But first, we want to give you an update of where we're at and what's going on.
Right. Okay, she's good. We got her all riled up.
I know, we'll stop. So we are actually been in the desert for about a week. We've been in the deserts near Lake Havasu, Arizona.
I like the desert.
Yeah, it's not very squatchy here. We have been looking for chupacabras, but with no luck so far. But we, like I said, we are out in the desert near Lake Havasu, and we found something very interesting here in Lake Havasu.
Oh, okay, yes.
Lake Havasu has this. This is
London Bridge.
the London Bridge.
London
Kinda.
Bridge is a bridge in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. It was built in the 1830s and formerly spanned the River Thames, not Thames or Thames, the River Thames.
In London.
If you don't know how to correctly pronounce British things, please go watch Downton Abbey, all 574 seasons,
Okay.
and the movie, which his mother made him suffer through. It formerly spanned the River Thames in London, England. It was dismantled in 1967 and relocated to Arizona. The Arizona Bridge is a reinforced concrete structure clad in the original masonry of the 1830s bridge, which was purchased by Robert P. McCulloch from the City of London. McCulloch had exterior granite blocks from the original bridge numbered and transported to the United States to construct the present bridge in Lake Havasu City, a planned community he established in 1964 on the shore of Lake Havasu. So even the whole community is kind of like a British import.
It is.
The bridge was completed in 1971 along with a canal, because you can't have a bridge unless it's going over water. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and links an island in the Colorado River with the main part of Lake Havasu City.
Yep.
So, now, before you start singing London Bridge is falling, now this is not the London Bridge, as in the London Bridge that was attached to the Tower of London.
But it is
a
London Bridge.
So,
So that's kind of fun. Yeah, so here's an actual shot of where we're at, if you can figure that out. We are right there.
and it is really, hey, you spill my coffee and there are going to be words flying. It is really actually quite nice out here. It's really nice. It's very quiet. I haven't had to people in days.
Yeah.
It's delightful.
Yeah, we haven't had to Yeah, we haven't had the people, as she puts it. Yeah, we've been out here for about 7 days boondocking. If you don't know what boondocking is, that means we're in a camper.
Not taking any showers.
Yeah,
So you don't want to visit right now.
yeah, we're not plugged in. We're not hooked up. We don't have water. We don't have electricity. We're running a generator right now so we can do our show tonight.
And we have solar.
We have solar.
Sort of.
We can go about 2 days. We can go about 2 days on the solar using our inverter in our camper until the batteries, because we don't put back as much as we're coming out, so we can put electricity back during the day, but it doesn't put enough to bring it back up to full, so we have to run the generator occasionally. So with that said, we are leaving here tomorrow.
Maybe. Or Saturday.
Or Saturday.
Again, waiting on the mail.
Yeah, we're waiting on the mail. As soon as we get that picked up on tomorrow or Saturday, we are on our way to the Prescott area.
Cottonwood, Arizona.
Yeah, and in the Prescott area is where all the Bigfoot sightings are. So
and it's where we're going to meet my Aunt Faye for lunch.
Again?
Yep.
Okay. So we are headed there, and we're going to actually get to do some squatching. So stay tuned for that coming up. Something else I wanted to say. Since next week is
Christmas.
It's Christmas week. We're going to skip a show next week and probably the week after that because we've got a lot of moving around to do.
And the week after that is New Year's Eve, and we all know what y'all are going to be doing.
Yeah.
Not partying with anyone, but
yeah.
You might be adding a little something, do your something.
All right. So we'll have all the somethings.
That's right.
Okay.
Might crack open one of those mini bottles of wine I've picked up throughout the country.
Yes, the many bottles of wine we have stored here in the paddy wagon. So, are you ready to get into this?
I hope so.
All right, here we go.
I'm assuming that Bigfoot came from generally the same primordial soup as everyone else.
Yes. We are going to be talking about...
I just wanted to say primordial soup.
Where did Bigfoot come from?
I cracked myself up.
So, we know for a fact that a Bigfoot is a primate. They share 99% or more about DNA with us, just like a chimpanzee does. So, what does that make Bigfoot? Okay, so we know we've got the DNA. We talked about this last week. And if you didn't see the show, go back and watch it.
It was kind of a finished show.
It was. We talked about Bigfoot having Earth DNA. Because there have been Bigfoot DNA studies, and we talked about this. You can still go get the book. It's in the link in the description below to our Squatch America store. If you want to get Scott Carpenter's book,
it's on our shop.
It's on our shop there.
Go to our website, go to our favorite Bigfoot merchandise, click on the Amazon link. Not only will you support Jeff Bezos' ridiculous empire, but you might support us with 14 cents.
Yes, every 14 cents counts. All right. So, and there's our merch, which we make it like 28 cents on. So, there's that plug. So everybody has seen this, haven't you? When I went to my anthropology school, that fancy school in California, with
Dr. Arguelles.
We studied evolution, and we all have seen this. I mean, probably in every grade school.
Did Schoolhouse Rock have an episode on evolution?
I don't think so. I don't think they did.
That would have been cute.
That would. But everybody's seen this, and everybody hears about this mysterious missing link between the apes and us.
Okay. Yeah.
And I want to tell you folks, you heard it here first. My mouse just died. We're in trouble.
Here, I'll
Oh,
steer.
I got it.
Okay.
This is bunk. Yep, bunk. There is no missing link. That's not how evolution works.
I know some people that might qualify as a missing link.
I do too. But this is not how it works. This is a basic outline of our family tree.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I was just we'll go through the chat in a minute. I just saw something weird pop up.
No,
Okay.
I'll watch the chat.
Okay. Anyway, so with that said,
all at the same time.
This is how our family tree plots out. Earlier stages, we got the Ardipithecus group, which is the oldest group of hominids. And then on the site over there, it's covered up on the screen, but that's the Australopithecus group. And then the Paranthropus, I can never say that. Paranthropus group. And then the Homo group, which we are part of the Homo group. So that's us.
Meaning everyone in that group is relatively the same.
Meaning everybody in that group's relatively the same and in the same general time period.
Okay.
That's what that means. The
She's going to take that flag right down, just saying.
I know, she's working on it. Anyway.
She knows I have her toy.
So we're going to have to like knock her out for the next show. Anyway, so I don't know.
Do we still have some of those puppy pot pills?
No, we don't. We don't. And awesome. Anyway, so I want to tell you this is our family tree. Now, a lot of people think that I don't know how to put this. It grows up. We've got branches out here, and it keeps splitting off. It does. But here's a better way to look at a family tree, how this works, is to look at it like, that didn't work. There we go. Look like a waterfall. Up here in the top of the waterfall, you've got a progenitor to us. We've got some creature back in time that we all came from. We can link back to one thing back there.
Adam.
Yeah, kind of. But then as we multiplied and spread out and went across the world, we got to different places, different temperatures, different terrain. We adapted. And as our groups adapted, they changed. And this is over millions and millions of years. So they changed. And as they changed, we got different type groups.
Share with us what kind of adaptation, like not between modern races, because there are some differences like between Eurasians and Africans and all those. But let's say between Homo sapien and Homo heidelbergensis, what are some of those tell us about those adaptations.
Okay, so if you're like, say,
and why you might have adapted that way, for what reason, something like that.
All right, so say,
wax profound, please.
Wax profound. So say you're in a certain area and you're a hunter-gatherer and you're not as strong or as fast as, say, your prey. Let's say a gazelle. And you're kind of clumsy and slow.
I know people like that. I'm one of those.
And you're not really good with weapons yet, because you haven't figured that out. You might have a stick, but that's about it. So over the years...
Sorry, keeping it away from the dog for a minute.
So over the years, you have to adapt to survive. So what if you lost your hair because you're in a hot environment? You develop sweat glands to keep yourself cool, and you develop the ability to run, not fast, but far. Hence, you became a Homo sapien like us. Our predecessors, the reason we're designed the way we are is because we are designed to hunt by running our prey to death. A lot of people don't know this, but the human species can run farther than, not as fast, but farther than any other species on the planet. We can literally run deer until they die. And that's an adaptation that we adapted in order to survive.
So what you're saying is basically Homo sapiens introduced toddlerhood to the world.
Probably.
Because they can run you to death.
They can run you to death. So, if we're looking at this waterfall, as these groups spread out across the world and adapted and changed, in other words, there's primates like the primates apes, like apes out there, who came from like the same progenitor that we had, but they adapted differently in different places for different reasons. They think we, because of Homo sapiens and the Homo species in general, diverged from the primate apes, is because we were scavengers early on, and we weren't very good at hunting. We were pretty weak as far as other animals go. We were prey a lot more than we were a predator. So when we scavenged a kill, pretty much the only thing left was like bones. But we did something that nobody else did, is we cracked those bones open and started eating the bone marrow.
And then we threw it into a pot and made bone broth.
Pretty much later. But in that beginning, when we were eating bone marrow as a major source of our diet, there's one thing bone marrow has: protein, tons and tons of protein. So as we ate more and more protein, that expanded the one organ in our body that we're known for today, and that's our brains. That's how we grew our intelligence over everything else. It's because high protein diet.
It would have also grown the heart to absorb running, strengthen the cardio system.
Exactly.
So that you could run faster.
Right. So you got your brains from being weak, basically.
Hey!
So
I almost had a funny from that, and it left as quickly as it came.
I did. And I'm trying to get this to change, and it's slow. Okay. But anyway, so here we go. We've got if you take this family tree and you turn it upside down, this is more like what it would look like. So up at the top, or the trunk, now that it's upside down, there's our progenitor up there, and then it came down, the Australopithecus group broke off this way in the waterfall, and then the Ardipithecus, the Australopithecus, the one I have problems saying,
and the Homo group.
And the Homo group.
I like how our group is the easiest to say. That's
as the waterfall came down, we spread out across the planet. In other words, we spread out, we developed, we changed, and we became who we are today.
I have a question then. In the Homo group, I'm assuming, because as things spread out, they become more plentiful. So the Homo group, is there greater variety within the Homo group than there would have been with, say, Ardipithecus or Australopithecus? So
because we spread
more
further,
samples.
More samples.
Okay, and that's why we have as many races
population
as we
grew,
do.
Exactly.
So, okay. Are they called races? I don't remember.
What?
There's a human race, but there are several different varieties of
There are different varieties of Homo sapiens.
Okay, yeah.
But we are we're Homo sapiens sapiens. We
versus Homo sapien,
Homo Neanderthal.
Homo neander. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Yes,
so
your uncle who's not quite all there is probably Neanderthal.
exactly. So when I talked about this waterfall, what happens at the bottom of a waterfall is the water comes back together. Not all of it, but some of it, most of it comes back together. And if we look at this group that we have here, this is our group that we live in now. I always have to hit that twice to get it to change. Okay, so if you look at the Homo group, this is a list of all the, I don't know if you can see that, you're probably not on your phone, but this is a list of all the Homo species that have lived over the last millions of years, like the last 4 million years. There have been quite a few of them.
And they overlapped with some of the other major groups, like Homo really overlapped a lot with Australopithecus.
Yes, and that's
and the Kenyanthropus platypus, no, platyops.
Mhm.
What is that? The Kenyanthropus? Is that part of the?
One of the oldest ones. Yeah.
Is that the part of the one you can't say?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's part of this one. These are all homos.
Australopithecus is a homo?
Mhm.
Oh.
So anyway, so if we go, the point of this slide is, the neat part is this last little part that I have in red right here. You got Homo sapiens, which is us. You got Homo neanderthal, Homo heidelbergensis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthali, and Homo floresiensis. That's 6. They all lived together. It wasn't one of us became the other one, became the other one. No, this group developed over here, this group developed over here. And at one point, they came back together. We know if you have kind of like the French area, if you're from France, and around that area is where Homo neanderthal came from. And they have found that Homo neanderthal did not go extinct. Homo neanderthal is still alive.
Guess who needs to go outside?
Homo neanderthal is in us. We were actually close enough to them to breed them out. Homo sapiens and Homo neanderthals interbred until the Homo neanderthals were gone. Oh no.
Shall I run?
Yeah, you can run real quick.
All right, I'll see you back, but I have an observation about this slide once I get back.
Okay, so what I was saying is, yes, Homo neanderthal has been bred out into us. So that guy that looks like a caveman, well, he probably is. So there's that. So, moving right along, but Hannah has something about this slide.
Yes, okay, so, yeah.
So, when you get back.
Okay, when I get back, okay, got you.
So, how does Bigfoot fit into this? What makes a Homo species as opposed to a primate species? Primates walk on all fours and they have very large canine teeth. What makes us a Homo sapien primate as opposed to a primate is that we walk upright and we have small canine teeth. And primates have large canine teeth. I hope I said that right. And they walk on all fours. That's the difference. That's it in a nutshell. So, what is Bigfoot? Think about that. Bigfoot walks upright. And as far as we know, from my observations of the Bigfoot I saw and photographs, I'm guessing that they have small canine teeth. Just like the skull that's right above me here, that is from Gigantopithecus, and that's a representation of what they look like on the screen here. And some people think that Bigfoot is a descendant of the Gigantopithecus, which was an upright walking primate that was 8 feet tall. Looks pretty Bigfooty to me. Do we know exactly that they came from there? We do not. But we do know, we do have this representation of the skull, and they would have had small canine teeth. So, what does that make Bigfoot? Is he a primate ape or a primate homo species? So if we lump him in here, and from what we have, the information of the Bigfoot or the Gigantopithecus date, it keeps getting bumped back further and further as we find more specimens and try to date them. But we come to the point as, does that make it Homo Gigantopithecus? And if that is, that throws him in our little group here from our little chart. And is he still alive with us? Quite very possibly. You had something, dear.
I did. First of all, is everyone out there still awake?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just thinking, ancient aliens. I was looking at their skull shapes, and look at Homo heidelbergensis. Now, first you got Gigantopithecus, Floresiensis, Naledi, all those.
Nadali.
It's not. That's not phonetically correct, dear.
Okay.
Anyway, Erectus, and all their skulls are fairly small and short, compact, right? And then you get into Heidelbergensis, and all of a sudden his skull elongates.
Okay.
Elongates.
Mm-hmm.
As in, I'm not saying aliens, but...
But you're saying aliens? No. It's not aliens, but it's aliens. No.
No, I mean, remember, they talked about the ancient Egyptians and the line of the pharaohs, the rulers of Egypt. Even when you see them in ancient hieroglyphics, they've always got, their heads are long and narrow. And
Yeah.
And I'm looking at now, we don't have that. I mean, sapien is much more rounded.
Right. Because our brains are bigger.
Yes, but theirs are long.
But they're smaller. It's not that they're longer than ours, lengthwise. It's just that they're flatter and they look longer.
Oh, dang it. I was hoping.
Know. Because they have smaller brains than we do.
Well, I'm still saying
So
aliens.
if we also look at that, to bring that up, if you look at the skull of the Gigantopithecus, it's smaller too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Bigfoot's brain box is smaller, considerably smaller than ours. It's big enough to be intelligent enough to avoid us like the plague.
And to use tools to some extent.
And not tool making, but tool using. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I said use, not make.
Yeah. Can they pick up a rock and throw it at you? Absolutely. Can they probably be eaten to death with a stick? Absolutely. Can they make a arrowhead? Probably
Could they
not.
make an elephant fly?
No.
Oh.
So.
All right. So would you like to?
Hold on.
Okay. Thanks, Garrett. Thank you.
Okay. You'll have to explain that in a second.
Yes, we're very much awake.
So.
Thank goodness.
So, what does that do for us? So what does that make Bigfoot? Does it make it some kind of North American great ape? Does it make it a species of primitive human, a forest spirit, or an alien?
I'm not saying aliens, but
Well, I'd have to say my theory, and this is my theory and I'm sticking to it unless it gets changed by science, is I think it's a species of primitive human. If you want to know where Bigfoot came from, he came from the same tree we did.
so part of the Homo group.
Part of the Homo group. Because he's got small teeth and he walks upright. So, that's my story.
However, that said, other primates are not part of the Homo group.
Well, chimps aren't, no.
Are orangutans?
No.
Are
They're
great,
primate apes.
like apes?
They're
Like
apes. Yeah,
apes,
they're apes.
but they're not Homo.
No.
Yeah.
They're primates. We're primates.
But you're saying
they're primates apes, we're primates homos.
okay, and you're saying
You missed that while you were out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I had her pee as fast as we could. But do not want her peeing in my house. Thank
Right.
you. So Bigfoot is a primitive primate homo, not a primate ape.
Yep, and that's my theory.
Okay. Well then, that was fun. So
Hold on.
hold on.
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
So
I have no idea where he's going with this. Really.
So my theory is that it's that. Now, can I put that in a box? I want to be perfectly clear about this. Until we document a Bigfoot from a cadaver found by a cadaver dog, hence the new puppy, or we find a specimen somewhere, I cannot say that this is fact. I can say this is my theory, because we cannot put this in a box. Can I say they exist? Definitely I can. I can personally, because I saw one. But, and, you know, eyewitnesses, I bet you I can come up with thousands of them. And I think I could plead my case in a court of law on that. But what are they? That's a different story. If the DNA specimens that we have, they do say they're from Earth, they do say they're primate. So a chimpanzee says it's a primate, like us.
But these don't match those.
Primate ape, right. But due to my just cursory analysis of seeing one, that they walk upright, that they are Homo species. Now, can I put this in one of these boxes? I cannot. I can tentatively put one in, but I can't say that, yes, it's a primate, ape, Homo species, and that's what it is. It's one of those ones that existed with us that just hasn't went extinct yet. I can theorize that, yes, it's one of those primates that existed with us at the same time we did, just like the other 6. A lot of people don't know that. 6 existed with us. In fact, fun fact, Homo floresiensis developed after us. It's a younger human species than we are.
Didn't make it very far.
But it didn't make it as long. So there's that. So can I throw it in a box here? No, I cannot. And I wouldn't assume to do so. But I am going to say that's my theory, that it's a human like us, not
Cousin.
a cousin.
Kind of a developmentally delayed cousin.
Yeah, that's it. So that's what I'm saying. Where did Bigfoot come from? The same tree we did.
Well, all righty then, Doc. Okay. So, question.
Questions?
Dale would like to know if we ever received the results from the hair sample that we got in Maine. Ha! Ha!
Ha! We did not. We've got my cursory analysis. I can tell you that it looks promising to matching other hair samples. I'm going to send it to someone else that I just happened to find on Facebook and connect with.
Who is that?
His name's Mr. Highcheck. He's a documentarian, actually. There's a TV show called Monster Quest that he did. He was the producer of that, and he knows a lot about Bigfoot hair. So I sent it to Dr. Jeff, and I have hounded him several times on email. He has not got back to me. I think he's a busy guy. He's a college professor, so he's in the middle of trying to figure out how to do school, probably. So I'm going to send it to someone else, but no, I have not got a definite anything back from the hair sample in Maine.
Okay, so and then do you?
But I
think,
still have it. I still have
yes,
a lot of it.
And then he continues to ask, "Do you think they could evolve to be a tool maker, such as humans did?"
They can. I'm absolutely positively
And haven't
believe
they
that
been
they
doing
can.
some experimentation with monkeys increasing their intelligence? I saw something somewhere, and all I could think of was nobody takes the movies seriously. I am dead serious. Sci-fi movies, the sci-fi writers were the prophets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough that we've got AI. I mean, we are this far from Skynet and Terminator, and now they're messing with monkeys.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Planet of the Apes is
Anyway,
coming soon.
so-
Can they? Yes, they can. Absolutely. We did. So will it be tomorrow? No. Will it be probably 100,000 years from now? Quite possibly. Depends on how much protein they eat. And we do know that they kill deer, and they do eat protein, so there's that.
And Nutella when it's readily available.
Yes, and Nutella when it's readily
So
available.
Denise, get those no-bake cookies ready and send those out there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Donna says, when I think of Bigfoot, I think primate, but I can easily be swayed to believing towards alien. She is my soul.
No.
I've almost got him on the woo-woo train.
No. DNA. Science.
Woo is science. Magic is just science we haven't figured out yet. Very
True.
simple.
But they have Earth DNA. Nope. Not alien.
We went into that last week.
We did. That was last week. Go back and watch that show. Not aliens.
All right.
So any other
that looks
questions?
like it's it on the chat.
Type happy.
Yes, Gordon, good to see you. You'll be happy to know that I'm pretty much just drinking coffee tonight. Nothing fancy. A little bit of international flavors, pumpkin spice in there. But by the way,
look. Do you think by watching us they would pick up and use tools?
Oh, that was brand new.
Yeah.
So
by watching us.
So do they learn from modeling and observation?
Oh, absolutely. All primates do. Chimpanzees do.
That's how Amy learned to talk.
Yeah, that's how we've got gorillas that can do sign language. Absolutely. Do they model from us? I imagine they do to some point. Now, we had an interesting case a couple years ago that we worked on that was these fellows who were hunting, and they were basically surrounded by Bigfoot. They were getting whoops on both sides of them, back and forth, and tree knocks, and they were kind of frightened at one time. And this was in the what's the name of that lake in Oregon? Detroit Lake in Oregon area. And
it's down south of Salem.
Yeah, and it was quite interesting that they found a walking stick that was 7 feet tall. Anyway, so it was pretty interesting, and it was found near footprints that were cast. So Do they use walking sticks? Quite possibly. Do they use sticks to poke things? I think so. Did they
So
get it
that
from
would
us?
place
Quite
them at
possibly. So,
roughly about an early adolescent boy level of development, poking things with sticks.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We had a teenage son that was really good at that.
Yeah. Okay, so, and then Denise says she's on it, but only if she can go squatching. Anytime, you know where we are, folks.
Yep.
Dale and Denise, anytime.
Anytime.
Just,
You got our number. You know where we're at.
you gotta pick up, you got a camper.
So, yeah. So, future squatching trips, we are headed to the Prescott area of Arizona. We're going to do some squatching there, and then off
south to Tucson.
We're not going to do any squatching there, but we are going to spend the bulk of the winter and spring.
See a chupacabra down there, though.
We are. We're going to go look for chupacabras. Literally, that's the second thing I think really exists. Are chupacabras.
Goats sucking weirdos.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's.
Then it's off to the big thicket in Texas. We're going to to Falk, Arkansas, where we're going to go after that Falk monster and those woolly burgers down there, and the southern chicken fried Bigfoots down in the south. And we're going to spend the bulk of the winter and spring in Texas. We've got that planned out to spend some time down there in the woods and look for the Sabine thing, the Falk monster, and the woolly burger.
And if we
I think that's all three of the southern Bigfoot.
If we can work it in, of course, on the eastern border of Texas is Louisiana.
Well, that's where we're going for Falk monster. Well, it's in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But
we're talking Louisiana.
We might do some Louisiana skunk aping. So.
And Cajun fooding.
Cajun food. But yes.
So Dale asks, with a smaller brain, wondering if their motor skills would improve.
No. Motor skills. I don't know if. You got me. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. Do motor skills have to do with brain size?
No,
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so, because cats have very fine motor skills, and they have very small brains.
They don't have fine motor skills. They have large motor skills. They've got gross motor skills. They don't really have fine muscles like humans do. So fine motor skill development is tied to brain development. In a human, it's tied to actual brain development. Of course, when you're born, your brain is not fully developed. It's developed enough for you to survive outside the womb, but there's more development to happen. And that comes from nutrition. It has really nothing to do with how big although your brain does grow, and that's why babies, you've got to be so careful with them, because they've got this big cavernous head and their brain has not filled it yet. And so their brain is growing. There could be something to that, but mostly it's nutrition. The better your nutrition is, the better any creature's nutrition is, the more functional and the more highly developed their brain is. So just keep feeding them protein and see what happens.
Yep. That's why I keep her around, the brain scientist of the group.
I love brain science. If I could do my life over and knew about it, I would probably go into neurobiology or neuropsychology or something like that, because the brain is just it is the biggest mystery in the universe. The human brain, I mean, we have not even begun to scratch the surface of understanding how the brain works. It's phenomenal.
Yep. And if I had to do it over again, I would do the same thing I did, because I love history.
Major in drama?
No. I would skip that part. I'd go straight to the anthropology stuff. I just love history, and I love the mysteries of the past, as they say. So
we got 11 minutes. What are we going to do to entertain these folks? I'm in the middle of doing my year-end planning for next year, setting some goals for myself. And guess what I wrote down on my 1 year goals for next year?
What's that?
The accordion.
Oh, hey. That
Yeah.
has nothing to do with Bigfoot.
Well, it does, because I was thinking my first song could be singing the Boggy Creek song
That's
with
right.
my accordion.
We've got some fun thing planned. So, oh, by the way, we've got Patreons now. Thank you, out there. And if you want to join us on Patreon, we need to bring that up too.
Yes. By the way, before you go there, Dale wants us coming back to Maine. Well, Mary wants us to come back to Maine. I don't know when Mary became my Facebook friend, but she follows us. She follows me on Facebook, and she wants to meet Daisy.
Oh, she does? Okay.
You know that dogs are welcome at Wilderness Edge.
We'll see, but it may be later.
Yeah, later in the season.
Later.
After Black Fly mosquito.
Yes. After mosquito season.
After blood-sucking season is over.
I guess. Definitely that.
And we ain't working.
Yes. So, back to the Patreon thing.
All right. First of all, Craig, I don't know if you're on there. Craig, thank you so much. Craig is our
Patron.
he is a founding member, actually,
Yes,
of the Inner Circle. And so we've got 2 tiers of membership. The Squatch Americans is our first tier, and you get a thank you letter, exclusive Squatch America sticker, access to a monthly patron-only YouTube live chat, which we will be starting those in January, will we not?
Mm-hmm.
Patron-only blog posts, messages, and patron-only meetups. That's $3 a month. $3. That is less than anything at Starbucks. I think it's less than a cake pop, for crying out loud. Anyway. And for $5 a month, you can join the Inner Circle, which has all that stuff, plus access to exclusive content not available on YouTube or social media, a standing 10% discount for our branded merchandise, and input on our research via Inner Circle member polls, and we might even publish you.
Yes. That and
Did you add something that's not on there?
no, I was just going to say, and if you're a patron in either tier, we will let you know exactly where we're at,
Like GPS coordinates.
like GPS coordinates where we're at, and where we are planning to go in the future, and if we get anywhere near you, we would absolutely love to meet up. And if you want to, we'll haul you in the woods and let's go find us a Squatch. So we can do that too.
Oh, and now Dale wants to know how's learning the violin coming.
Haven't picked it up.
Because guess what happened the first time he picked it up? Guess who almost got beat over the head with it? I'm actually doing my due diligence, because as a music teacher myself, I value adult learning endeavors. However, until we can find a good online violin teacher, because have you heard of beginning violin?
Yeah, it hasn't been fun.
Yeah, and learning off of YouTube is just not no. Sorry, ain't happening.
Yep, and we've been caught in a lot of camps. I mean, not this week. We've been out in the desert, but we've been in a lot of campgrounds where we've had really close neighbors. Like literally in Las Vegas, we could have reached out our window and touched the camper next to us. That's how tight those sites were. It was horrible.
And there was way too much people even there.
Yeah.
The next one we're going to is super nice, so I'm not too concerned about that. If you were chewing my pillow, dog, you're gonna go down.
Okay.
All right, she's fine. Courtney learned to play it years ago.
Awesome.
Yay, Courtney.
Yay, Courtney. Okay, and what was I going to say?
I have no idea.
Anyway, we did the Patreon thing. We're going to talk about. We talked about if you're a Patreon, we'll let you know exactly where we're at, so we can meet up and go squatching, and also all the other stuff she mentioned earlier. And we're going to be doing some Patreon Zoom calls with everybody. So
that's the patron only monthly patron only Actually, they're not YouTube live chats. They will be Zoom calls.
There'll be Zoom calls.
So that you can actually talk back.
Yeah. So we'll get to meet you almost digitally personally.
I will say, see, it is, because I tell you what, my work group meets daily to work together on Zoom, and I belong to a spiritual community on Zoom, and you do get to know each other.
Yeah.
You do. I mean, hey, welcome to the Jetsons, right?
There we go. And what else? Oh, and Dale and Denise, FYI, if you want to come to Texas and meet up with us, or anybody else does, here's the fun part we're going to do. We have actually worked out where we are going to be actually leaving the camper in Texas, and we're going to be taking a tent and or just hammocks.
No, we'll take a tent. We have a dog.
I know. And or just hammocks. So we are going to go into, we have got a place where we're going. It's so exciting. Yes, I have. On the Sulphur River.
Oh, yes, you have.
In Falk, Arkansas.
He's way more excited than
I am so excited. We are. If you've ever seen The Legend of Boggy Creek, if you haven't, go watch it. Go watch it twice.
He's going to make me watch it again tonight, I promise you.
Yes, because we are going to go stay on the Crabtree Land. If you watched the show, you know what I'm talking about. On the Sulphur River bottom, where the Falk monster lives. We are actually going to be camping on the Crabtree's land. Oh, I'm so excited.
That's why I have to learn the song with my accordion.
Yes. So.
I wonder if Bigfoot likes the accordion.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Especially the ones down south, because they're kind of, you know.
Them Cajun ones.
Them Cajun ones.
Okay. Well.
Tell me about.
Oh. Hey, message me on Facebook.
There we go.
Renee, you can message me on Facebook.
Yes, Renee, you can message her on Facebook. What else?
I'll introduce you to the coven. Or the cult, he calls it. Are you meeting with your cult today? Yeah. He thinks I'm a nutball.
Mm-hmm. I'm sticking with our Bigfoot cult. We need to name that. Squatch Americans. Okay.
You already got it over there.
Already got it. So, what else will we be doing? It's about time.
It's about time. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us, Garrett. I really, really, truly hope you're fascinated and not just telling us that. We love Garrett so much. He's like one of our many kids that we never had for ourselves, but we just sort of picked him up along the way.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we've got a lot of those kids.
We do. Some of them we'd like to knock their heads together, but whatever. That's what happens when you're a parent of many, many people. So thank you so much for supporting us and for go
to Patreon.
For putting up with us, for having so much patience while we've gone through growing pains. We still go through growing pains. So you will not see us again until January.
Unless you're on Patreon, you'll probably see us before that. But
no, we're starting those in January.
I know, but we're going to do some Patreon stuff before that.
Are we now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. Well, there we are.
Okay.
See, news to me. Anyway, but for the rest of you, we will see you after the new year. So happy holidays. Actually, Hanukkah is over. So Merry Christmas. I don't know what you say for Kwanzaa.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year. And here is to a much better, brighter, saner 2021.
We can hope.
So
remember,
our job is to investigate the unexplained,
not to explain the uninvestigated.
So until then, keep it squatchy and
go out and find Bigfoot.
Bye.
Bye.